All right, family. We black again. We got some fire presentation going down today. We are still discussing what's going on overseas. Will the United States deploy troops to Iran? That's the question of the day. You see, and that's a totally different monster when you talk about putting troops on the ground versus bombing. You see, versus bombing. That's totally different. You got a large nation. You see, you got a large nation of soldiers. And you got to fight the populace. And that's something. Yeah, yeah. 2,500 Marines are headed to Iran. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they yeah. I don't know what they're gonna do. But see, the thing is, when you fighting a war, you got if that's what they have to do. We don't know if that's where they at. We don't know if that's what they got to do. But when it comes to really getting in there and seeing what's up under the ground, what they got hid in the mountains, because see, the thing is, they didn't learn from Afghanistan. They didn't learn from Afghanistan where they didn't hid a lot of their artillery in the mountains and so on and so forth. But it still don't make no difference. You see, once the facilities that make the armament begin, once they start knocking them facilities out, it's a wrap. It's a wrap because you can't replenish. So once them the last ones you got, you see, but your enemy can continue to make them. You see, you haven't stopped his ability to be able to replenish his armaments, his weaponry, and things of that nature. And that's one of the things that they have done to Iran, where they have knocked out a lot of the facilities that make the armaments, that make the drones, that make the missiles and things of that nature. And so you can't just up and make one of them again, because it could take you years to make that one facility, And so to have them to knock out a facility like that, you see, you say you being deployed. You ain't been. Is you serious? Is you being deployed? You being deployed? Well, I wish you luck. You know what I'm saying? Come home. That's all. Wait a minute. Matter of fact, I don't see how. Wait a minute, family. I ain't even got my mic in. I'm sitting here talking. I ain't even got the mic in. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, mic in. All right. I ain't even having, but so that's another monster. I don't even know what the United States military look like. I mean, as far as the level of soldiers better. Okay, good. Yeah, the level of soldiers that the United States have in the Army, the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy. What they saying that the numbers had dropped. So it ain't the same army as like when they went over there to Iraq. They went to yeah. Yeah, I hope the brother, if he's serious, he ain't responded, but you know what I'm saying? Now that's a whole different monster, but hey man, I'm telling you, they think it might be time for them to have a war. That's how the warmongers think, because they want to keep the soldiers, you understand what I'm saying? They want to keep them on edge. You feel me? They want to keep them sharp. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep them sharp. So every now and then they got to throw them into something, especially if they're going to go against China, or, if they're going to go against China or Russia, or particularly either one. If they had to go against one of them other nations, they want to have the soldiers at a certain level of combat experience, believe it or not. So, they may be thinking that this is a fight they need to have. Okay, then. Okay, you think everything. So what they going to do? They're going to take some soft soldiers, and they get into it with China or something on that level. They're going to take soft soldiers that never seen battle and take them over there to another part of the world and put them in a terrain that they ain't never seen before. See, you can't do that. Training on say wartime economics versus Trump trying to distract from the and he trying to he trying to detract. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's a lot of things going on out there now. You see, it's a lot of things going on out there. And do you think, do I believe that Iran is trying to achieve something on that level? Why wouldn't they? Huh? Now, I'm not going to be naive. Yeah, we know what's going on. And it's been going on. And I'm not saying it to justify anything. Okay, I'm not saying it to justify anything. But do I believe that Iran is trying to get a nuclear weapon? Why wouldn't they be? Look what it did for Kim Jong-un. Yeah, look what it did for Kim Jong-un. They was talking about running in over there on him. They ain't talking about it no more. They ain't talking about it no more. What up, family? So why wouldn't Iran to have a card like that? You see? Now the Israelis say they, they got, and they say that, but now if Iran got some bombs, then you can't be so quick to talk about you going, especially with the, because that's really, them two right there. You see, them two right there. The Israelis would drop a nuclear bomb. That's how much hate they have for one another. Okay, leave right or wrong out. They have a serious hate for one another. The Israelis and Iran. And I believe that the both of them being capable that either one of them would drop a bomb on the other. Yeah. Well, you know what? A lot of their power is tied in over there. You see? A lot of their power is tied in over there. That just, it is what it is. It is what it is. You see, it is what it is. Because if they usurp, really, you got to see why they put them Israelis over there. You see what I'm saying? They put them over there. People keep talking about, they didn't have no homeland. They was out in the Mediterranean. They didn't have no homeland. Didn't no nation want them. They were sitting out in the Mediterranean, and it was the British that's, they would, what they call it, the Balfour Accords, and that put them over there because they anticipated that they would be gatekeepers for a strategic area in the world that them Europeans needed to maintain control. You see what I'm saying? They needed bases over there, so they put there. So when people look and say, well, the Israelis is running the United States and this, that, they all tied in. Because once that base right there fall over there, that Suez Canal, that Persian Gulf, that Arabian Sea, that damn Red Sea, all of that gonna collapse. And you talking about a large percentage of the global economy is moving through there. Period. Been moving through there. You see, so they gonna keep them right there as the gatekeepers over there. So if they fall by default, the United States and particularly the United States, we ain't gonna even talk about the Europeans right now. Yeah, well, NATO ain't got nothing to do with this. Yeah, because America, again, NATO has benefited from the United States for so long. The gig is up. Everybody cut NATO. Well, who is NATO? NATO ain't nobody. They need the United States. Russia can run up on them any given time. What is NATO? What is NATO? All you had to do is pull out of NATO, Putin to take care of them. What is you talking about? The only reason Putin ain't ran in on many of them Eastern European nations, you understand? The only reason they ain't ran is because of the United States is over there, got military over there. But they all shaking in their boots. They already was vassals to the Soviet Union, Poland, Yugoslavia, Finland, Denmark, all of that. Soviet Union had control over that. So what is people talking about? So they, so what it is that for a long time the Europeans was pimping America. That's really what it was. You understand what I'm saying? That's really what it was. Just like when you look at Haiti. When you look at Haiti, look how long France was pimp. And let's just say what it is: pimp Haiti. Even though they won the war, you see what I'm saying? They made them pay a trillion-dollar debt on the things they lost when they beat them. So the Europeans been pimping people all over. So what the hell is NATO? NATO ain't no, they've been getting away really with getting paid and really can't kick no ass no more. Britain can't kick nobody ass. You can't take the British Army nowhere in the world right now and drop them nowhere without them taking heavy casualties. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, the British, the French, they ain't got no army that they could really take nowhere and not take heavy damn casualties, because the world that when they first colonized the world was unaware. They didn't have that particular technology. But today, man, they got weaponry. You see what I'm saying? They got, you know what I'm saying? They got guns, they got automatic weapons, man. You drop an army anywhere in the world now, you gonna lose something. You gonna lose some damn soldiers. So all that old France and Europe and all of that, that's over with. So NATO don't mean nothing. They got their own agenda, and really, it looks to be that Europe is about to be overtaken. Real talk. That's going back to the whatever it was before, when the Muslims had conquered vast majority of Europe and Africans had seized large areas of Europe. It's about to go back to the same damn way. Them Europeans is done for. So they don't even count. NATO ain't nothing without the United States. That's just real talk. Anybody that know that should know that's what it is. You see, I mean, look at that. They couldn't even fight off Hitler. Hitler really kicked their ass by themselves. Shit. Italy was down in damn Ethiopia. It was the Germans that put an ass whooping on the European population by himself. The Germans kicked their ass. Okay, so what is NATO? United States literally had to come over there and free their ass. France, before World War II, France was considered to be the strongest European country. During World War I, they said, coming out of World War I, France was the leading European military country. Hitler went in there and took France in less than damn 3 weeks. He knocked them out the box in less than 3 weeks. So who is it? I mean, that just show you they'll jump on somebody that ain't got no guns. But when it comes to somebody that really got some guns and got a military and they bought it, man, them Europeans folding. You see what I'm saying? So really what France and Britain is doing is what United States is doing to Iran. Damn, France and Britain is what they be doing down in Africa. They are bomb. You know what I'm saying? Come through and bomb. But as soon as they put some goddamn soldiers on the ground, that's going to be something different. Them boys going to come out of the woodworks on their ass. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to be a totally different story. But, straight up, you want to keep, that's what it is. So will they put boots on the ground? It's possible. It's possible. And if any of them soldiers end up, if it's something happened to them, they're gonna want to come out of there. They're gonna want to come. They're gonna want to send more soldiers in. You see, they're gonna want to send more soldiers in there. You see what I'm saying? To deal with it. Okay, they're gonna want to send more soldiers in there to deal with it. So, but it's not gonna be no different than Iraq. It's not gonna be no different than Iraq. And they saying Iran is bigger than Iraq, but you dealing with a beast, man. So just know that. I don't know what people you still dealing with a beast. A lot of people think that the United States is over with. That's what people's is saying. They believe that the United States will falter and that it will fall and based on what's going on, it's a lot of shit in the government, the pedophiles and all of that, the Epstein files and Trump is in there, and a whole lot of that damn United States Congress is in there too. A whole lot of that United States Congress is in there too. So it ain't just him, it's all they add. And so they've been, but people been doing videos on the elite pedophile circle around the world. They was talking about the Queen, they was talking about King Charles. They've been talking about this shit for many, 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 many years now. And people have looked at a lot of that as being what they call it. What do they call that when you conspiracy? Oh, these is conspiracy video. They've been talking about these pedophile rings and with the elite going on now for damn near 20-something years. And people have looked at it as it's some type of conspiracy. The Catholic Church and, when you gonna rise up and do something about it? The information have been out here on an escalated level. You see what I'm saying? On an escalated level. And they've been doing this for what it says, China called for an immediate. China don't want no smoke. Yeah, China don't, China don't want no smoke. You see, China don't want no smoke. China over there chilling because they already know that they technology is fraudulent. You see, they know they got a lot of fraudulent technology. They bolstering themselves up. Say Russia is supplying and telling they ain't doing them no good. How they gonna supply it to them? They done knocked out all they got, all they technology, and you know what I'm saying? I don't even see what they got a boost mobile over there, because I don't know how they talking to them. Yeah. They got one phone and they on there talking to Putin. But other than that, all of that, the satellite and all of that, that's been knocked out. So they on when they take them, what they call them styrofoam cups, and you take a string and you tie it to the other, and they got one in Russia and they got one in Iran, and they talking through a styrofoam cup. Yeah, like, man, help me out. Say, man, I can't help you with that shit they dropping. Say, man, y'all go listen to me. Let me tell you straight up, Putin is going to tell them. Putin going to say, man, look here, man. Because technically Putin is doing the same thing. You see? Yeah, but he in the same predicament that he really ain't taking nothing on the ground. You see? Because his army is weak. So he's bombing, boom, and he's destroying a lot of infrastructure, boom, but them boys is dug in over there and they ain't giving up no land. So he still ain't getting the land like he want to. So, because his army is weak. You see, so the United States is bombing, but we don't, I can't see that they didn't fell off that much. I don't see what people see, and they didn't, whatever was going on where they got the men coming in, they're getting all of that sweet, all that sweet shit up out the army, in which they need to do, because real soldiers not going in there, and you got soldiers running around with lipstick on and all that. They ain't going for that. You know what I'm saying? So, if they clean it up, people will rethink about going into the military if it's viable and they ain't got to go to war. They ain't been going to war for real. So a lot of soldiers went into the army. They didn't even have to go to war. They was going to see other countries, going to school. And so, but there's a possibility that you could go to war. So that's just a possibility. So you have to get in and get what you can get out of it. get you some education, get you a couple of dollars, and move on. You know what I'm saying? And move on. But I don't see them. I don't see them have fallen off that much. I don't know what y'all talking about. You see, when them boys, it might take them, but see, it take money to go to war now. It take a lot of money to go to war, and they done already spent. Just in the 2 weeks there, you know how much they done spent? They done spent $12 billion already. You see, they done spent $12 billion, but that's gonna boost their economy because they're gonna have to they're gonna have to make more bombs. Whatever they're gonna have to remake more bombs. They anticipate and go to war, so they just gonna they gonna turn the bomb making machine on. And while they can't feed the poor, they can't build up the infrastructure in the United States. They ready to go to war, but that's what it is. That's what it is. And so some Marines is going over there. And if anything happened to the Marines, they're going to really be ready to go over there. You know what I'm saying? They're going to really, if anything happened, I don't know what the mission is. I don't know what the mission is. But yeah, the gas is high, but it's high for the world too. The gas is high for the world. And so, at what point in time is they going to continue, and they got exports, and as they close down, ain't nothing going out for them. So even as they blowing up the damn country, they ain't getting no money in there to do nothing either. So at some point in time, because that's what's going to happen, because I heard that they ships is leaving in and out of there without a problem. You know what I'm saying? So Iran is still exporting oil. But what happens when they say, you know what, we shutting your shit down? You see what I'm saying? And close your money off too. So you ain't getting nothing in, you ain't getting nothing out. Everything is being destroyed. What you gonna do? You just gonna sit there and you gonna continue to launch whatever you can at these damn ships out there. And they saying they about to put the military ships out there to escort the ships. That's what they saying, that they have planned for it. And they saying they about to have military escorts out there. So they sending ships over there now. So I don't know where it's gonna go. We don't know but it's been going on for many, many years. It's been going on before we was even born. They was already over there. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, they said that shit getting through. But that's what the Houthis said down there in Yemen. They were saying wasn't nothing coming through there either. Have you heard anything from the Houthis? I ain't even heard nothing from them during this episode. Have anybody heard from the Houthis? Anybody out there heard anything from the Houthis? I ain't heard nothing. I ain't heard nothing from them. They done been quiet. What's up, family? So I think they took off the gloves on the Houthis. So I think the Houthis then got real quiet down there. Yeah. Yeah, gas is $4. But I heard they opened up the national reserves. So they saying they about to flood the country with the national reserve. So it should bring the gas down in a little bit. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna bring it down. They didn't really. So you give it about a week, and you give it about a week. Yeah, you give it about a week, and it should come down. It should come down in about a week. Say hell no, they lying. What they lying about? Tell me what they lying. But you're gonna have to tell me on the next one because we coming right black. I want y'all to get over there, and we got some fire on Patreon. We're gonna be talking about how the Chinese and the Mexican cartel have took over the black market marijuana trade in the United States. They got growing farms all over the South, California. We talking about the Chinese, and the Mexican cartel is bringing Chinese citizens into the United States illegally, and you understand, they confiscating their passports, making them work in these illegal farms until they work, they dead off, and then they get their passport back. But anyway, I'll see y'all in a minute. Click that link, get over there to Patreon family. Yeah. And yeah, they say Bama. That's what people were saying. It ain't nothing but Bama weed anyway. Motherfucker have a migraine. Have a goddamn migraine messing with that stuff. But anyway, I'll see y'all in a minute, y'all. Black Power.